Michigan parents can now legally give away their newborn babies. A New Year's Eve celebration erupts into violence. A shortage of windshield wiper fluid here in northern Michigan. And dieting tips for the year 2001. Those stories and more next.
You're watching 9 and 10 News at 11 on Northern Michigan's news leader.
These little babies that could be abandoned somewhere else in this community will get to a safe place and get the health care it needs.
Unwanted newborns now have a chance to survive without their parents facing prosecution. A new state law went into effect today that allows parents to drop off their unwanted newborn babies at any hospital, fire, or police station. Munson Medical Center in Traverse City is welcoming the new law with open arms. Unwanted newborns that are dropped off will be checked out in the ER and then taken to the neonatal intensive care unit. After the baby is examined, the Family Independence Agency will take custody of it and arrange for foster care.
The idea is to get the baby to a safe place as soon as you possibly can so the baby can get whatever care it might need. There is no prosecution, again, there's no fear of prosecution if all it is simply a drop-off.
The law applies only to newborns no more than 72 hours old. And again, the parent will not be prosecuted unless there are any indications of child abuse. A teenager lost his life this morning in a deadly crash involving two snowmobiles. Police say 19-year-old Joshua Dale Keller was snowmobiling with a group of friends in Tustin in Osceola County. He and another person split up to search for a missing snowmobiler. They unknowingly crested the same hill, in opposite directions at the same time and collided, killing Keller. Police say alcohol was not a factor in that crash.
At least 4 out of every 5 customers is asking for it. Because nobody else in town even has it.
Windshield washer fluid is out of stock at many northern Michigan gas stations. If you were out on the road this holiday, you probably used up a lot of washer fluid. And if you're looking to refill the tank now, you might have a hard time. Gas station attendants say washer fluid is one of the hardest items for them to keep in stock, especially in winter. And now their supplier is running out of it. The messy roads aren't helping anything either. All this week, demand for the fluid went up. Many northern Michigan drivers were hoping to conveniently find the stuff at their local gas station.
At least 4 out of every 5 customers is asking for it. It's like this all over. The whole company is out of stock right now.
Many retailers still have washer fluid in stock. However, you might have to pay just a little bit more for it. At least 40 people were injured after a series of explosions in Israel today. A car bomb exploded just north of Tel Aviv. No one has claimed responsibility for the blast, but Palestinian activists have set off several previous bombs and vow to carry out even more attacks. Robert Berger has more.
There were 3 powerful explosions, one after the other. It happened in the early evening when the streets were packed in Netanya, a coastal town about 20 miles north of Tel Aviv. The explosions shattered windows in nearby shops and apartments and blew apart vehicles on one of the busiest streets in the city. Police believe the bomb was detonated in a parked car. Ambulances, firefighters, and police rushed to the scene and cared for the wounded. Around 40 people were injured, only one seriously. Police believe the man who suffered serious wounds is the bomber. The attack put further strain on a peace process already on the verge of collapse, but many here are breathing a sigh of relief. One police official said the fact that no Israelis were killed is a miracle. Robert Berger, CBS News, Jerusalem.
Officials in one Oregon city are cleaning up the streets after a night of New Year's rioting. Groups of young people attacked police officers, smashed store windows, and looted many businesses in downtown Portland. It was all caught on tape. Police say the trouble started around midnight when about 1,000 people gathered in hopes of seeing fireworks, but the city had not planned any festivities. Nearly 100 police officers in riot gear tried to stop the clashes. In the end, 8 people were arrested. The city of Detroit kicked off its 300th anniversary celebration today by opening a 100-year-old time capsule box.
It was honored the mayor of Detroit in 2001 and the generations whose privilege and I hope pleasure will be to read the letters in this box contain health and greetings.
Mayor Dennis Archer read a letter from his predecessor of 100 years ago. The letter spoke of advances in communications like the ability to call and telegraph across the growing nation. The letter also explained how train travel was helping people travel to major cities throughout the Midwest and East Coast. 1 out of every 100 teenagers gets pregnant in England. Now they'll be able to get the morning after pill without a doctor's prescription. Kimberly Dozier reports.
Almost 1 out of every 100 teenage girls in Britain gets pregnant. That's the highest rate in Europe.
Young people in this country are having sex very early, and a lot of them are having unprotected sex. What we want to try and stop is so many teenage pregnancies.
For years, the morning after pill, which stops unwanted pregnancies, has been available with the doctor's prescription for free. Now, for about $30, girls as young as 16 will be able to pick it up at their local pharmacy without a prescription.
The thing about the morning after pill is that this is something they could take life into their own hands. They can do something about it. They don't have to go and see a doctor.
These 16-year-olds like the change.
You automatically think you've got to go to the clinic, and that doesn't really feel, I know to me it doesn't scary. Yeah.
Too embarrassing. The morning after pill is actually 2 pills taken over the space of a day. It works by tricking a woman's body into rejecting a fertilized egg.
It can cause side effects, everything from headaches and nausea to, in extreme cases, blood clots and kidney failure.
It makes it sound so easy. Just go and take a pill. They don't tell them how unpleasant it is. They don't say that it's a very risky pill to take. They don't say you are being a bit of a guinea pig, but never mind.
And she thinks without the fear of accidental pregnancy, women of all ages are more likely to have unprotected sex, exposing themselves to a host of sexually transmitted diseases.
As night follows day, all the figures for sexually transmitted disease and all the other negative figures, illegitimacy, will be up this time next year.
Her solution? Teach them to use condoms plus other birth control or abstinence. The British government says getting that message across will take a lot longer than 72 hours. Kimberly Dozier, CBS News, London.
Buckingham Palace reports Britain's Princess Margaret is ill. A palace spokesman says the 70-year-old sister to Queen Elizabeth II stayed in bed over the holidays, missing both the royal family's Christmas church services. A doctor visited Princess Margaret twice this weekend, but no word on the nature of her illness. Margaret has suffered numerous health problems, including serious burns to her legs and feet in a Caribbean accident back in 1999. The previous year, she suffered a stroke, and the princess used to smoke 60 cigarettes a day, so back in 1985, doctors were forced to remove a small part of her left lung.
I would much rather be in there than being out here.
Northern Michigan scuba divers reached new depths to swim in the new year. Most people curl up on the couch to watch football games on New Year's Day, but some people in Northern Michigan curled up in their wetsuits and went for a swim in Lake Michigan. Divers came from as far as Russia to join in the 20th annual New Year's Day dive in Traverse City. Today's water temperature, a mere chilling 35 degrees, actually more than 10 degrees warmer than the bitter cold air. Divers say the traditional dive is rather comfortable with the right equipment.
With all the different events that we do, any excuse has always been a good excuse to go diving. And this is just another excuse to go play in the water.
The divers say the hardest part of the dive is getting your face and hands used to the frigid water. Well, it took a little longer than expected to get the first baby of the new millennium in one part of northern Michigan. Ethan Allen Alexander Squires was born at 10:31 this morning. He was the first newborn at Munson Medical Center. Ethan weighed in at about 10 pounds 8 ounces. The sleepy boy was expected on the 26th of December when he would have been the 1,999th baby of 2000. Nurses at Munson are demanding a recount. They were betting on 2,000 births in the year 2000. It happens every year, gaining those unwanted pounds over the holidays. If this sounds familiar, don't worry. Coming up, we'll have some advice for a New Year's diet that could work for you. And later, the first baby of the new year had some close competition in one city, and it couldn't have been any closer than this.
Everyone, I'm meteorologist Alan Rios. A pretty nice start to the year 2001. Most of us saw sunshine, others saw some cloudiness and a few flurries, and some areas still experiencing some scattered flurries. I'll show you where. Let's head up north with our Doppler 9 and 10 video time lapse. The Straits region, Mackinac City, looking at the Mackinac Bridge. Clear skies during the day today. Temperatures were in the teens, and take a look. The Straits region is partially frozen over. We'll have that complete look at your forecast coming up after the break.
You're watching 9 and 10 News at 11 with Trish O'Shea, Doug Petcash, Doppler 9 and 10 meteorologist Alan Rios, and sports with John McGowan. Complete coverage only on Northern Michigan's news leader.